Hey there, my friend. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a rushing river, fists clenched, heart pounding, trying to hold your ground against a current that's stronger than you'll ever be. You've been fighting so hard, pushing, striving, clawing your way toward what you think is the goal. But deep down, you're tired. Bone tired. The kind of tired that makes your soul ache. And in that quiet, weary moment, you hear a gentle whisper from God. My child, I see you. I'm proud of you. Now let me carry you. But here's the gut punch truth no one likes to admit. God can't lift what's still fighting to stay in charge. Surrender isn't waving a white flag. It's stepping into a sacred dance with the divine. It's not about giving up, it's about giving in to a current that's already flowing toward your purpose. Because nothing in your life, not one single moment, is a mistake. Every twist, every turn, every tear you shed, it's all part of a divine map, leading you somewhere holy. There are no wasted seasons, no wrong turns, when God is the one steering the river. Sometimes you're not stuck, you're just resisting the flow. You're clinging to the rocks, scared to let go, while the stream is trying to sweep you towards something greater. You're banging on doors God has already closed, not because he's cruel, but because he's rerouting you to a path you couldn't dream up on your own. What if the chaos you're fighting isn't a roadblock, but a redirection? What if the detour is the destination? When you stop screaming, "Why am I here?" and start trusting, "I'm here for a reason," something shifts. Your soul cracks open, and that's where God steps in. That's where the lifting begins, not with fireworks or fanfare, but with a peace that settles deep in your spirit, like a warm blanket on a cold night. As Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." That stillness isn't passivity, it's power. It's the courage to loosen your grip on control and let God move you with a grace that defies logic but feels like home. But here's the catch. God can only lift what's ready to let go of your plans, your timelines, your need to know every step before you take it. This isn't about sitting on your hands, doing nothing. It's about showing up fully with your tender heart, your quiet strength, your unwavering values, and trusting the road even when it's foggy. It's saying, I don't love this season, but I trust it's not my final chapter. It's just a step toward where I'm meant to be. That trust, that's what aligns you with the divine current, the momentum that's been flowing all along, even when you couldn't see it. Let's get real for a second. The reason you're so exhausted isn't because you're failing. It's because you're swimming against the tide of your own promise. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. You're scared to let go, and I get it. Letting go feels like falling, like losing control. But what if letting go is the only way to rise? As Jesus says in Matthew 11 verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That rest isn't just a nape, it's a release. It's trusting that the answers are coming, even if they don't arrive on your schedule. You can keep wrestling with what is, or you can surrender to what's coming. There's no shame in the struggle, only freedom in choosing a different way when your heart is ready. And if you're hearing this right now, maybe you are ready. Ready to stop fighting for outcomes and start receiving guidance. Ready to stop scaling walls that were never yours to climb. Ready to let the current carry you, not to a dead end, but to a divine destination. Because when God lifts you, it doesn't feel like striving, it feels like soaring. It feels like being swept into a story so beautiful you couldn't have written it yourself. But you have to trust. You have to let go of the fear that's keeping you anchored to the riverbank. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the start of everything God has waiting for you. Let's dig deeper. You weren't created to wrestle the river into submission. You weren't made to micromanage miracles. You were designed to move in rhythm with heaven, to breathe in sync with God's purpose for you. Somewhere along the way, the world convinced you that strength means never bending, that progress means never pausing, that faith means having all the answers up front. So when life feels like a standstill, you panic. You tighten your grip, you hustle harder, you try to outsmart a season that was never meant to be a punishment, it was always meant to be a preparation. As Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 reminds us, There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Where you are right now isn't a mistake, it's a moment. It's not a delay, it's a divine setup. Placement always comes before elevation. Think about it. Even a mighty eagle doesn't take flight until the wind is right. It doesn't flap frantically, trying to force the air to bend to its will. It waits, wings spread, trusting the current to lift it higher than it could ever go alone. That's not laziness, it's faith. That's what God is inviting you into right now. To stop struggling and start sensing the wind that's already moving around you. There's a divine current flowing, and it's trying to carry you somewhere extraordinary, but you have to be open to it. Trust doesn't mean sitting still. It means living like you believe you're already being carried. You keep showing up with your kindness, your discernment, your fire. You don't lose your spark, you just stop trying to control every flicker. Because when God lifts you, He lifts the real you, not the mask you wear to feel safe, not the hustle you use to prove your worth, not the plans you've mapped out to avoid the unknown. He lifts the version of you that trusts even the mess is holy. Yes, even the mess. Because here's the truth no one talks about. Confusion is often the womb of clarity. The fog forces you to slow down, to lean on faith instead of formulas. It humbles you, not to break you, but to build you. As Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 9 declares, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways." When you surrender to that truth, you stop asking, "Why is this happening?" and start praying, "God, what are you revealing through this?" That shift, it's electric. It's where the lifting begins, not with a sudden spotlight or a quick fix, but with a quiet transformation inside you. Your perspective shifts, your heart softens, your vision clears. You start to see God's fingerprints on the very things you thought were mistakes. You start to bless the lessons instead of cursing the delays. And before you know it, you're in flight not because you fought harder, but because you trusted deeper. Here's the breathtaking part. When you stop wrestling with the path you thought was yours, God unveils the one that was always meant for you. Not through force, not through begging, but through alignment. The current of blessing never stopped flowing. You just stepped out of it for a while, trying to protect yourself, trying to prove something, trying to feel safe, in control. But now you're stepping back in, back to trust, back to that still, small voice that says, "Let go. I've got you." Let go of how you thought it should look. Let go of who you thought should be by your side. Let go of the deadlines you put on God's timing. Let go of the guilt for not being farther along. Let it all go and let Him lift you. What's coming doesn't require your fight, it requires your faith. This isn't the end of your story. It's the moment the tide turns. But you have to release the riverbank. You have to trust the water. God doesn't need you to be perfect. He just needs you to be present, to float, to let the current carry you past your fears and into His promises. As Philippians 1 verse 6 assures us, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." You're not late. You're not lost. You're being lifted quietly, steadily, gloriously toward a future you couldn't even dream of. So stop swimming upstream. The blessing is in the flow. Let go and rise. Thank you for walking this journey with me, my friend. If this stirred something in your soul, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to keep diving deeper with us. Now, let's get real and spark some fire in the comments. Is surrender just giving up dressed in holy clothes, or is it the bravest act of faith you can make? Are you clinging to control because you're scared God's plan won't measure up to yours? What's the one thing you're afraid to let go of, and what might happen if you finally did? Drop your thoughts below, and let's wrestle with these questions together. See you in the comments, and keep trusting the current.